This hack has 47 million views across the internet for a reason. It takes 3 extra minutes. It costs nothing extra. And it makes hooded, droopy, saggy eyes look lifted, defined, and wide awake better than anything else I have ever tried in 12 years of doing makeup. And if you leave this video right now, you will keep doing your eyes the hard way for the rest of your life. So don't. I remember sitting at my vanity, eyeshadow all over my lid, staring at my reflection and literally wanting to cry because no matter what I did, I looked more tired than when I started.
No definition. No lift.
Just heavy, sleepy-looking eyes staring back at me. I spent hundreds of dollars on makeup that just disappeared into my hood. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to feel like someone finally heard you. Welcome, I already know something about you. You've probably tried the tutorials that didn't work. You've probably bought the eyeshadow palettes that looked amazing in the pan and completely invisible on your eye. You've probably Googled, why does my eyeshadow disappear at least once in your life? I see you. I was you. And today I'm handing you the exact hack that completely changed my makeup game and honestly changed the way I feel about my face. We're talking about a technique so effective that when I wore it out for the first time, 3 separate people asked me what was different about me. One of them thought I had a brow lift. All I did was change one thing about my eye makeup routine. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, how to do it step by step, and how to customize it for your specific eye shape, because not every hooded eye is the same, and this technique works for all of them. Don't click away. Don't skip ahead. Don't go check your phone. Just stay with me and watch this whole thing, because the viewers who make it to the end of this video are the ones who message me 2 weeks later saying it changed everything. Let's get into it. Trick 1. Redefine your crease above where it actually is. Your real crease is hidden. Your hood is sitting on top of it and swallowing everything you put there. So stop painting where your crease is and start painting where it would be if your hood wasn't there. Take a fluffy blending brush, look straight into the mirror, not down, straight ahead, and place your transition shade about ½ an inch above where you feel your socket bone. That higher placement is your new crease. That's where all your depth and definition lives from now on. Everything below that line gets lighter. Everything above it gets blended up and out toward your brow bone. The moment you move your color placement up, your eye stops looking closed and starts looking lifted. Trick 2. The wing goes up, not out. A liner wing that goes outward follows the natural downward drag of a hooded eye and pulls the whole face down with it. It sounds counterintuitive because we've all been drawing wings the same way since we were teenagers, angling out toward the end of the brow. But on hooded eyes, that direction is working against you every single time. Instead, angle your wing upward, toward the tail of your brow, not away from it. Even a subtle upward flick of 2 or 3 millimeters completely changes the direction your eye appears to travel. It tricks the eye, both your eye and everyone looking at you, into seeing a lift that isn't surgically there but looks like it absolutely is. Trick 3. Tightline the upper waterline. Leave the lower alone. Most people line their lower waterline in a dark color thinking it adds drama. On hooded eyes, it does the opposite. It closes the eye down, makes it look smaller, and adds weight to an area that's already fighting gravity. Instead, take your darkest liner and tightline only the upper waterline, right into the root of your upper lashes. This creates the illusion of a fuller lash line without adding any visible line on the lid that your hood will erase anyway. Your lower waterline gets a nude or flesh-toned pencil, if anything at all. This one switch alone will make your eyes look more open than they have in years. Trick 4. Light inner corner, always. This is the trick that does the most with the least effort and somehow remains the most skipped step in most people's routines. A tiny press of a light shimmer or highlight shade, we're talking the size of a small pea, placed right at the inner corner of your eye and blended toward the center of your lid, instantly creates the illusion of width and wakefulness. It bounces light in the one place that naturally falls into shadow on hooded eyes. It makes you look alert. It makes you look rested. On days when you're doing the absolute minimum, this is the one step that still earns you the "you look great today" comment at the grocery store. Trick 5. Brow lift is the real eye lift. Everything we've talked about so far works even harder when your brows are doing their job. A well-groomed, well-shaped brow with a defined arch creates vertical space between your brow and your eye, and that space is what makes the eye look lifted, open and youthful. You don't need to dramatically reshape your brows. You don't need to go higher or more arched than your natural shape allows. What you need is to clean up the underside of your brow, define the tail, and make sure there's a clear separation between your brow and your lid. On hooded eyes, that separation is everything. It's the frame that makes the whole painting make sense. Here's what I want you to sit with for a moment before you close this video and run to your makeup bag. And I say this as someone who genuinely lived through this, not as someone reading from a script. There is a very specific kind of frustration that comes with having hooded eyes in a world that wasn't designed for them. It's not just about makeup. It's about sitting in front of a mirror for 45 minutes, following every step of a tutorial exactly as instructed, and still walking away feeling like your face didn't cooperate. It's about spending real money on eyeshadow palettes because the swatches looked breathtaking and watching them disappear the second they hit your lid. It's about people asking you if you're tired when you've had 8 hours of sleep and you're genuinely having a great day. That's a specific kind of invisible frustration, and if you've felt it, you already know exactly what I mean without me having to explain it further. What nobody tells you, and what took me far too long to figure out, is that hooded eyes were never the problem. The techniques were the problem. The tutorials were the problem. The assumption that one eye shape is the default and everything else is a deviation from it. That was the problem. Your eyes are not a challenge to be overcome. They are a shape with their own rules, their own language, their own specific set of tricks that, when applied correctly, produce results that, frankly, a lot of people with non-hooded eyes cannot achieve. There is a softness and a mystery to hooded eyes that photographs beautifully, that ages with a kind of quiet elegance, and that, once you understand how to work with it instead of against it, becomes something you actually appreciate about your face. The techniques in this video aren't workarounds. They're not compensations. They're not making the best of anything. They are the correct techniques for your eye shape the same way a specific brushstroke is correct for a specific type of painting. You wouldn't use a watercolor technique on an oil canvas and wonder why it doesn't look right. Same logic applies here. And here's something worth knowing that most beauty content won't tell you. The hooded eye look that you might be self-conscious about right now is the same look that high-end photographers specifically seek out in models. It photographs with depth. It has dimension. Under the right lighting and with the right techniques, it is genuinely striking in a way that reads as sophisticated rather than simply pretty. The women you see on magazine covers and in luxury brand campaigns very often have a natural hood or a heavy lid because it creates shadow and mystery that flatter the camera in ways that wider, more exposed lids sometimes don't. You are not working with a disadvantage. You are working with a feature that the right person in the right room would consider an asset. Now, let's talk about something that might be even more useful than any single trick in this video, and that's the relationship between consistency and confidence. Every technique I showed you today will feel slightly awkward the first time you try it. Your muscle memory is trained to place shadow where you've always placed it, to draw your liner the direction you've always drawn it. Changing that feels wrong before it feels right. The first attempt might not be perfect, and that's not a sign that the technique doesn't work. It's a sign that your hands haven't caught up with your knowledge yet.
Give it 3 tries.
Genuinely, 3 separate attempts on 3 separate days before you decide whether something works for you. By the 3rd time, your hand knows where to go, your eye knows what to expect, and the result starts to look effortless in the way that all practice things eventually do. There's also something to be said about doing this for the right reasons, and I think about this a lot. The goal of everything in this video is not to make your eyes look like someone else's eyes. It's not to make your hooded eyes look like round eyes or wide-set eyes or any other shape. The goal is to make your eyes look like the most awake, defined, lifted version of themselves. To make you look in the mirror and recognize yourself on a good day rather than a tired one. To make your outside reflect how you actually feel on the inside, which on most days is probably a lot more vibrant and alive than a droopy lid is communicating. Makeup at its best is not a mask. It's a translation. And what we're doing with these techniques is finding a more accurate translation for what your eyes are actually saying. One more thing that's worth mentioning, and this is particularly relevant if you're watching this video and you're somewhere in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond. The hooding that comes with age is one of the most natural things a face does over time, and also one of the most unfairly stigmatized. Skin loses elasticity. Brows shift. Lids descend slightly. This is biology, not failure. And the women who navigate this with the most grace are not the ones spending thousands on procedures to reverse it. They're the ones who learn to work with what they have in a way that still feels like themselves. These 5 tricks apply at every age. They work whether your hood has been there since birth or whether it's arrived more recently as a gift from time. In fact, some of these techniques become even more impactful as the eye matures because the contrast they create reads more dramatically against the natural softening of the surrounding area. You have everything you need. Your makeup bag is already sufficient. Your eyes are already enough. What you had before today was just incomplete information, and now you have the complete picture. So let's bring it all the way back to where we started. That moment at the vanity, staring at a reflection that wasn't showing you what you knew you had. I want that moment to be behind you now. Not because you changed your face, but because you changed your approach. Because you gave yourself the correct tools and the correct information, and you stopped working against your own features. The 5 tricks in this video are not complicated. They are not expensive. They do not require a professional or a ring light or 45 minutes of blending. They require understanding, and that's exactly what you now have. Try one trick today. Try all 5 this weekend. Take a before photo and an after photo, and notice not just how your eyes look, but how you feel looking at them. That feeling, that quiet, oh, there I am, is what this whole video was actually about. If this video helped you even a little bit, if something clicked, if something finally made sense after years of frustration, please hit that like button right now because it genuinely helps this video reach the next woman sitting at her vanity feeling exactly the way we both used to feel. Subscribe if you're new here, because I make content specifically for real people with real features, navigating real beauty questions without the filters and the fluff. And leave me a comment below telling me which trick you're trying first. I read every single one and I respond as much as I possibly can. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.